bottles beneath the estate. There's a path that runs behind the new houses. Not really a path, more a worn suggestion of one. A ribbon of flattened grass, pressed down by dog walkers, kids on scooters, and the occasional nosy old bloke with a cat on a harness. That'd be me, in case there's any confusion. Red trots ahead, tail high, ginger ears twitching, stopping now and then to investigate the shadows of things long since past. We come this way sometimes, no reason really, just a habit of walking the edge of where something used to be. Because beyond this estate, behind the fences and politely parked cars, was once a wildland. A half-sunken, ivy-choked patch of forgotten ground, where the past lay buried in mud, and where a few 10-year-old boys, myself among them, once thought we'd discovered treasure. I must have been 10, maybe 11. And it started with a rumour, as these things often do. Paul, one of the louder lads from school, said he'd found bottles, old ones, purple, some with marbles in them, buried out past the allotments, where the land dipped behind the trees. We didn't believe him, not entirely, but that Saturday a few of us followed him, over the footbridge, down the muddy slope, through nettles and brambles, and there it was, a clearing, half eaten by ivy and rust, littered with old glass, thick oily colours, some whole, some smashed, some still with the weight of history sealed in their necks. We'd stumbled on a Victorian tip, not that we knew the name, we just knew it felt like ours. Saturdays became sacred. We turned up with spades and trowels and biscuit tins full of sandwiches. One of the lads, Kev, barely spoke, but could dig like a badger. Paul declared himself bottle foreman and immediately annoyed everyone. I was the one who spotted things, the way the sun caught a curve of glass under the soil. One day I found a violet bottle, deep dark purple unless held to the light, smooth as riverstone, cool in the palm. Paul offered me 2 cod bottles and half a crunchy to trade. I declined. There were rules, of course. No smashing good bottles. Share your sweets. If it's got a label, you show the group. We told ghost stories, argued about whether the marbles were cursed, and bled a little now and then. Thin cuts from old glass, wrapped in crisp packets and pride. We were muddy, ridiculous, happy little kings. We gave ourselves a name. The Guardians of the Dump. It started as a joke. Paul yelled it with a stick raised high like a sword. But it stuck. We built secret stashes, defended our patch from invisible enemies, and kept watch over what we called our kingdom. We didn't speak about school or homework or the growing ache of things we couldn't yet name. We just dug, and found, and laughed, and it mattered more than we knew. One day I found a doll's head, porcelain, cracked, eyes hollow. I wrapped it in tissue and hid it in a shoebox. Not because I wanted it, because someone once had, and that felt important. But it didn't last. One morning, Kev pointed out wooden stakes, white-topped, with red flags, dotting the landscape like stitches on skin. Soon men came with clipboards, and quiet voices full of plans we weren't invited to hear. We kept digging, but the air had changed. A corner of the dump was bulldozed, crushed flat, our rusted kingdom reduced to mud and tyre marks. Then the fence went up, tall, metal, final. We stood at it like ghosts looking in on someone else's life. We tried to find a new way in. There wasn't one, so we stopped going. And the silence that followed echoed louder than all our laughter put together. Now, years on, I stand here again. Just me and Red, watching pigeons strut like landlords along the rooftop. He sniffs the base of the old fence, tail twitching with interest, as though there's still a story left under the ivy. And maybe there is. Beneath the patio slabs, beneath the neat rectangles of lawn, there are bottles we never found, names we never knew, memories pressed into glass and buried before we were even born. I still have a few pieces. One sits on the windowsill, a cod bottle, marble intact, cloudy with age. When the sun hits it just right, it throws a green shimmer across the tiles. Sometimes I just stand and watch that shimmer, like it's still trying to tell me something. Red doesn't care for bottles, but he always lingers here, quiet, tail wrapped around his paws, watching the wind move through the brambles like it remembers too. We stay a while longer. Then he gives a soft chirp, a signal that the day has said what it needed to say. And so we head home, with a sliver of bottle in my pocket, still sharp in places, still beautiful in others, like memory, and still worth keeping.